Okay, now we got some volume cooking. There's usually something going wrong here. All right, so we are now back, and we are now actually live again. So, welcome to Clear Blue Radiance. I'm your host. I'm the podcast host here for it every Thursday, usually at 1 or 1:30 p.m. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, and I'm doing my Clear Blue Radiance here on the Resonant Essentials YouTube channel. So, today is August 3rd, 2023, and my particular topic will be your life is more profitable than a Bitcoin and an NFT when you realize the value of your true self. Invest in yourself. Well, I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40 to 45 plus years. I enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity in your life and also to discover or redefine your purpose in life right now. So often, our purpose changes. Yes, our purpose changes as we redefine ourselves, as they say in the business world, to rebrand yourself, right? To create a different image about yourself. But here in the metaphysical and the spiritual world, it's not about creating an image of yourself. It's more like living in the present moment, not striving for perfection, but being present now. In other words, being in a state of gratitude, grace, unconditional love, and compassion. To be in a position where you could share that reality with other people. So, this particular topic, I came up with five basic ideals, things that you can look at, things that you can express to other people, and especially to yourself. Money is a form of energy. Money is a form of energy. Bitcoins, NFT, all those things are forms of energy. They come from the mind. Groups of people meet together energetically to physically talk about these as ideas first. So they're using a lot of energy. When a person has a career, says, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, a licensed practical nurse, I want to be a symphonic conductor of a huge orchestra, I want to be a ballet dancer, I want to be a jazz tap dancer. I want to be in the world playing my music, whether it's on a guitar, electric, acoustic, piano, organ, you name it. It takes energy. It takes a lot of mental energy and often physical energy to be able to see what you're doing come into fruition for yourself. So here are some of the things that we might consider that are important. And I just picked five ideals that came to mind. First one is, if you're going to invest in anything and anyone, if you're going to do that, then it should be ourselves. If we're going to do that, why not invest in ourselves first? Because without yourself, you cannot do anything else, right? Hey there, Jackie. So without yourself being healthy mentally, emotionally, physically, mentally, you can't produce the energy that's needed to assist the company, whether it's a small business company or a large business company, right? Mental focus, physical focus must be engaged. Be selective because some people, and we all have experienced it, especially when we get older, we remember all of these experiences. Be selective because some people are takers and not givers. We run into a lot of that, right? People taking, drawing on your energy. You feel mentally fatigued, physically exhausted because someone is pulling on you energetically. And we all have experienced that, whether we're teenagers, young adults, middle aged adults, and now seniors. We have people that come in and out of our lives pulling on our energy. People want your ideas. People want you to help them create an idea and build it out, make it much bigger, right? So you are in that state of mind where you're consciously doing this all the time. And you're striving to make things better all the time for yourself and for others. Women do it in their families, whether they're married or not, whether they're mothers or not. They're giving out a lot of energy. And there's people on the other end taking it all day long, where the mother, the wife, is totally exhausted. So that's why, if I go back to the first part, if you're in a relationship and you're investing in a relationship, then make sure you are investing in yourself first. Make sure you got the energy, emotional energy, the mental energy, the physical energy, a good, strong spiritual base so you can thrive in that relationship. It is the same when you're working for somebody else. In order to thrive in the position that you have, and it doesn't matter if you're a male person, I don't care if you're the person mopping floors, I don't care, as the janitor, at every level there's energy being expended on behalf of what? The company. Here's another one. You do not need to become a victim all over again. Many times we become victims. Many times there's bullies, right? Before the internet, we all had our bullies in school. Bullies chasing us home because we had a rough and difficult time dealing with them, standing up to the bully. And then the internet came along, and people do cyberspace bullying all the time. And people, youth, have lost their lives through that. I remember one time, I think it was 5, 6, 7 years, maybe 10 years ago, on a college campus, somebody knew how to get into someone's account online and was what? Bullying that person, putting out bad thoughts, words, images, you name it. And then when that young man saw it, he was crumbling away. No one had any idea that he was on the verge of committing suicide. And all it took was a few short clips of him that a so called friend, a person who tricked him into being his friend, took advantage of his weakness, his mindset, how he saw himself, everything, and put it out there on the internet for everybody, not only in the dorm that they were in, but for the campus. When he realized he's being talked about and his weaknesses being shown and the fears that he was going through, there was nothing else for him to live for in his mind. And he took his own life. We see this happening all the time. Children against children, teenagers against teenagers, adults against adults, bullying. And so you have to decide at some point you don't want to be that victim anymore, that's over. But you have to find your true value in yourself and build from there. Here's another one. Protect your body, right? Your mind, your soul, and your spirit. In other words, what you understand as your spirit. But your mind and your emotions must be on guard. You got to protect that. You got to shield that. And then there's the physical body. You got to protect the physical body. You got to shield that. Sometimes you can't, especially if you're a child. You can't do it if you're a child. Sometimes as an adult, you can't do it because you might have low self-esteem. And those things happen. We go through life having low self-esteem. Unless we were that child or that adult that knew inside we had a deeper talent going on, and that we could take that deeper talent and go elsewhere and display it, or just be in nature, or just be in an art studio, or just be at home and express it without being hindered, without being laughed at, without being put down. These things do occur, but we select some of it, because remember, one of the rules of third dimensional living on earth is when you're coming in here, born in here through two parents, being birthed into this world using that conduit to get here, you decided in the ethers that you weren't going to have the memory of yourself spiritually going on. Who were you metaphysically and spiritually? You were going to forget that. But now, since the late 1990s, early 2000s, there are children, I'll say in the mid 70s, there are children born remembering bits and pieces of why they are supposed to be here. And this is why we see the grandkids doing it, and the great grandkids just speaking beauty, speaking wisdom out of their mouth. Why? Because they came into this world remembering, and they know that they've got to put that energy out. And hopefully, they chose parents who will fully support their efforts. But here's another thing, and that thing is to love yourself is investing in yourself. So let me say that again, really slow. To love yourself is investing in yourself, as that is a part of your true frequency. The frequency, the energy that you keep repeating mentally, the energy you keep repeating emotionally. We want to go with how we are feeling, not just what we are thinking. And I've often have said this over the many years of my practice and my studies and my classes and courses and just day-to-day living. You've got to bring the mental awareness, the mental being part of you in congruence and harmony and agreement with the heart. How you feel. If you can get those two in alignment, those two embracing, those two planes within yourself embracing. In other words, what you think has to be reflected into what you're feeling. What you're feeling has to be reflected back into your thinking. And if they are in tune, and if the mental and the emotional are absolutely clear, nothing blocking either one, then all of this in the ethers and the spirit realm can make its way to you. All the thoughts and feelings you planted out into the mind, the subconscious mind in the universe, which is the universe itself, it could find everything that you have placed and deposited with it and bring it all back along with source very clearly to you. People said we have to build a bridge. Well, sometimes when you can't build a bridge, sometimes you have to find a bridge too. And there are moments when you can't, the bridge is crowded, the doorways are crowded, a doorway is sealed up in your mind. You have to have a breakthrough. You have to come around it some kind of a way and have to make your way known to yourself. You don't have to worry about if someone else sees, okay, you just came through this little tiny hole in the wall and you didn't bring much with you. Well, we can't think how other people are viewing us because They're experiencing something totally different than we are. I'll say that again. Other people are experiencing something totally different than you and I are. Those of us that are in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s used to hear our parents and our grandparents say all the time, don't think that the pasture is greener across the tracks on the other side. I remember one of my cousins when he was in basic training in the Marines, right? And they took the brothers and put them on one side, and they took the other brothers who were, non-melanated, if we use the term nowadays, on another side. And they're all jogging, going to this destination. But what the sergeants wanted them to do, the sergeants and master sergeants wanted to bring them together as a team. So what they did was the brothers, everybody in the group didn't know that the diners or little cafes across from each other were serving the same thing. It was the greasy spoon place. The places were filthy. The bathrooms were filthy. They were looking at, the eating utensils, not really clean. Plates were clean. Maybe the pots were clean, but some of the utensils didn't look too clean. Food was terrible. But what happened because one side didn't want the other side to know how good the other side might have it over them or how bad it was. They had no idea that both of these establishments were set up so that these Marines had to go eat there. So what happened was both sides wound up not telling the truth, wound up cooking up the truth, wound up saying, oh man, that food was delicious. It was basic, it was simple, but it was delicious. All that coffee, all that juice, whatever that they were having as some form of sustenance, they were saying they were lying that it was good. So you think of it. That's just an example. There's thousands of other examples we could use. I have them, but I don't want to overwhelm you with them. I'm just going to read these 5 ideals that came to me. Why? Because right now, and maybe this is what we need to understand. I didn't create the Bitcoin. You didn't create the Bitcoin nor the NFT. Maybe you know someone that's doing that. So if you didn't create it, it has no real value to you because you didn't create it. It didn't come from your mind. It didn't come from a group of people like yourself. Neither did the NFT. The people that created that, they're the only ones who remain on the top, who are going to get all the residuals. Even if you make money, they're still going to be going up the ladder. Why? Because when people put these things out here to sell, what usually happens, they bring you into a group and they don't tell you that it's multi-level marketing, network marketing. Why constantly bring in people? I remember someone was trying to help me and understand it, put me in a group, and it turned out that one of the guys in the group, I call him like the screamer. On the call, he's just screaming the whole time, telling everybody again, just like any other multi-level marketing system, network system, you got to take massive action. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. Go to this store, go to that store. Tell them you could put this unit up here and electronically in the ethers is going to read whoever else has bitcoins and NFTs and anything in your area within a 5-mile radius. But who wants to be on a phone call with people who are way up the ladder making it and the people way down at the bottom not getting it, not being able to receive anything? Who wants to be in a group where you've got that split? Who wants to be in a group when you figure out whatever amount you're making trickles back up to somebody else? Because how do they keep going up? Why? Because they got everybody underneath. And at some point, you're losing something. Even if the company says we are paying it, you're still expending what? Energy. Your personal energy is being expended. In other words, your personal energy is being wasted because you don't see anything coming back. You may not see anything coming back for 6 months, 9 months, or a year. Do you have that kind of time to wait? If you do, you might as well invest in yourself. At least you could see what you're doing. If you're an artist or a musician, you could see the music composition on paper. If you are a dancer, you could see it on stage in your rehearsals. If you are a painter, you could see it from your brush and colors on canvas or wood or anything else. Hey there, Arimat. Mayat. Glad that you're here. We cannot let anybody bully you in to an idea that didn't come from you. Do not let someone bully you in to an idea that's not even connected to divine source. Because we know if you're connected to divine source and you're hooked up with your higher self, which is a reflection of the divine source, then guess what? That divine source never goes out. Its fire is never gone. Your higher self is never gone. And anything connected with true value to your higher self is not destroyed. We even learn that when you go through the state and get ready to pass away from this plane, just the physical body was laid down, but you're free. Just the same. You're still free. Why? Because you are a spirit. And spirit doesn't die nor pass away. When I used to be in the Moorish Science Temple, they used to say, truth never dies or passes away. That's what it is. It doesn't really change. It's still truth. Gratitude doesn't change. It's still connected to grace. Beauty doesn't change. It's connected to the beauty inside, another form of value that you carry. So you can't let somebody waste your time. Why? Because I learned to say, with all the losses, with all the multi-level marketing systems that I belong to, back in going all the way back to 1992. In fact, further back than that, in the 80s. Oh, I could tell you Herbalife is big now, but back then it was nothing. It was struggle, baby. Struggle trying to explain those herbs. And I wasn't even involved in the consciousness of herbs yet, but I was understanding in a very gradual pace, but I couldn't get enough people on board. I went on something that was called Vima, and it was done right out of Scottsdale, Arizona. But I didn't have enough. I couldn't get the family members. I couldn't get the friends in the neighborhood. I couldn't get my students who I was teaching to be interested to drink this little thing that looked like carrot juice. Didn't taste like it though. Tastes like medicine. But however, I did get a little surge of energy. But I didn't have enough what? Mental energy, emotional energy, and physical energy to bring that thing to fruition. I went and tried other things with another group that was in Long Island. And after a while, I gave up. And I was with that thing 3 years. And I saw the downline building up. But guess what? Nobody was clicking in. So the person who was above me, I called the person up. He was a Christian minister. I said, look, I've been working on this thing for 3 years. I've been attending these meetings online. This is before Zoom was out. I'm on the phone call. I'm on the website. Nothing's clicking. So the guy said, Well, I'm in a certain position. I'm in the diamond category, and it is does take you a bit of time and energy. But I'm gonna tell you about another one, and I'll buy what it costs you to get out of this one, which amounted to about $1,200 because you were paying for your website every month, pretty close to $50 a month. It's a lot of money. But the guy reimbursed it to me, told me about another one. I joined the other one, and guess what I found out? Oh, they said this company could help you out. Yeah, they were selling placebos. Their diet pills were loaded with sugar, loaded with all forms of sugar. And I learned from someone, if you see OSE on the back end of a chemical name, that was related to something related to sugar. So I got out of that. And then I decided one day, when I got, while I was in New Jersey, I decided one day, why don't I invest in all this stuff I got going on? Numerology charts and tarot classes and white light meditation classes and meditation classes. Why don't I invest in that? Why am I too busy investing all my time and energy, getting hollered and screamed at by team leaders because I'm not doing enough? Hey, if I'm going to holler at somebody, I'm going to holler at me. And I stopped all of that. And when I stopped all of that and got it all out of my system, and sometimes people were trying to draw me back into other concepts. But I was, why are they trying to draw me back to other concepts? You know what I realized? They saw me as the workhorse, the mule. That guy's hustling, and if he just tries just a little bit more energy, we all gonna ride off of him. And when I saw the system, I said, you know what? I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna let them have what they have, and I'm gonna ride this gravy train called Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I'm gonna ride the Circle of Grace one. I got it right there. Why am I not pushing to get it there? And once I started teaching more and doing more and writing my own newsletters and showing up 2 and 3 hours ahead before I was supposed to sit down and give somebody a reading somewhere, and before meditations, then it clicked. I could hear the click in here, the click left here, the click left in my lower back, the stiffness in my knees and ankles left. Why? Because I was doing what I was put here to do. That's what this is about. I'm not knocking people who are into Bitcoin. I'm not knocking people who are into NFTs, non fudgeable, whatever that is. Because the only thing about that, if you do an NFT and you don't have enough money, somebody else who's got a lot of money can buy your NFT, which happens by your image. Your cartoon face image, boom, will be picked up by somebody else and you no longer own it. So, what happens now, you take the necessary steps for you, even if it's on a small level. I've had people even out here tell me, well, you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to do this and you need to do that. Well, they don't know is I've done this and I've done that out of my almost 52 years on doing this stuff, almost 50 years, but 52 in meditation. I've done a lot of things. And usually what happens behind my back, people are running around with my ideas, claiming like they're theirs. So you know what I've had to do? I said, that's okay. I'll just go solo. I've gone solo. None of them people have books out. I got 6 out. One started in Long Island, New Jersey, and the rest are being written right here in New Mexico. And I just found out that my books are in Melbourne, Australia, in a local library. My books are in someone's store in the UK. My books are in someone's store around here in the United States. They're out there. All I gotta do is what? Invest in me. So I'm saying this because you must invest in you. It's never too late to put time and energy in yourself. It's never late. Whether it's dropping weight, making the body stronger, we walk, we drink positive energy and ions, electrolytes, whatever we need to what? Boost our energy, to feel better. Because if we're not feeling better, then what you're doing is not going to get better. Do not let someone sell you some things that they don't use. Do not let them sell you things that they do not use. Even they haven't thought it out and it's just theory. Do not let someone do that because that is a form of mental rape as far as I'm concerned. It's a form of spiritual rape as far as I'm concerned that I could see because they're not willing what? To put out. They just hope you pick up on the little bit that they're saying. No, you got to really step up to the plate. Each and every one of us represents a universal law and a whole bunch of universal laws reflected in us, each one of us. Some people say there's as much as 8 billion people on the planet. Some people say there's 8 million. Hey, it's not, well, we know, look at the voting. There's millions of people right here in the United States voting. So there's got to be billions of people, trillions of people, perhaps. If we got a trillion cells inside at any given moment passing through the bloodstream and everything else, we must have more than that in the world. And that's just a guess. So we have to realize the value of our true self. And our true self is the higher self that's connected to divine source. And divine source is not going anywhere. Divine source, in the mind of divine source, all has been created and all will continue to be created. We just have to find the path, the formulas. I'll say not one path, but many paths and formulas and remedies that work for us. We hear the phrase all the time, people need to stay in their own lane. Yes, people need to stay in their own lane. Because one day you'll find that the lane only needed a few things. A few weeds to be pulled up and a few steps to be added. And then just polish it up. We have to realize that we already have it inside, but we don't know that we have it inside until we touch upon what's on the inside. When you love yourself so much unconditionally, it doesn't matter. Why? Because you're going to attract what is yours anyway. And what is yours is infinite, just as infinite as the next person. You don't have any limitations. You can no longer say the sky is the limit because that's a limitation. How many times you've had people send you emails and one day, oh, they see so much positive things for you in less than 24 hours. If you don't do this, you don't send this money to me, I see things going down. Well, wait a minute, how can you see things going up for days? In the beginning of the month, everything is fine, but in the middle of the month and toward the end, all of a sudden things are out. You see it all wrong for somebody. That can't be true. What it is, what they're not telling you, a lot of these people that are out there, they're not telling you they're students of astrology, meditation, palmistry, biorhythms, enneagrams. All these people are studying these things. They're just not telling the congregation that's what they're doing. They'll say that person can't be a psychic. That we're not psychics, but behind closed doors they are. So you must discover your true value, truly who you are. And once you realize it, then things that you see on the outside are changing because who you are on the inside. You now have value. And now you could walk on water. You could do a tight rope act without a rope. And you ain't got to worry about falling 10,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 1,000 feet, or just 1 foot. Because you trust you. You have value. You love yourself. You're grateful for who you are. You're even grateful for some of the stuff you went through that was difficult. But you're stronger now, and you're not the same person today who you were yesterday. You're different. I should say it again. Whoever you are today, you're not that person yesterday. Whoever you were 10 years ago, you're not that person. We meet people all the time who are trying to take you in the past about when you did some difficult things, some wrong things. Don't listen to them. If you're online, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you got people coming on your account, I don't agree with you. Hey, they don't have to agree with you, but they don't need to come on your account and harass you either. Because if they're going to do that, then they need to be blocked. They need to be thrown out the circle. So the remedy is loving yourself is the perfect way to invest in yourself. Because the more love you pour on yourself, the more clarity that you're going to have. Right? And nobody can tell you otherwise. Why? Because you have so much faith in yourself, you automatically have confidence in yourself, you automatically have trust in yourself. And you have to tell yourself, I've been successful before and I'm going to be highly successful again because I'm successful right now. You're successful right in this present moment. And no one can tell you otherwise. No one. So that's my message for today. Invest in yourself, basically. Hey, if you're ever here in Albuquerque, you need to stop by Resonant Essentials, Resonant. First word Essentials, Essentials. It's located at 3107 Eubank, Eubank Boulevard Northeast, here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, inside the Scottsdale Shopping Village, which is just north of the intersection of Candelaria that runs east and west, and Eubank that runs north and south. You can go to the website www.resonantessentials.com, and when you go there, you'll see a calendar that opens up. And if you click on the practitioners, you'll see all the practitioners, including the owner, Michelle Vidal, and you'll see their phone numbers. And if you click on the name, it opens up to a extra web page. You can read about everything that they do and when at Resident Essentials. Like today, Thursday, there's a brand new practitioner. She's been there for a while. She just started out. Her name is Liliana Rondon, and she has Jaguarina Apothecary. And she talks about a lot of things that help you take care of your skin in a natural way. She does beautiful art cards as well. She does Reiki too. She's a phenomenal woman. On Tuesdays, we have Reiki with Amber J. Amber is a wonderful person, knows a lot about her Reiki, does it for animals as well as people. And with her is Nikki or Nicole Bruton Phillips, and she works with oracle cards. But if you bring your children to her, she could help your child evolve and help the parents, like petals around that flower, evolve. They work at the same time, usually 10:30 or 10 o'clock to 5 p.m. Liliana is right there now at Resident Essentials. She's been there since 11 a.m. and she works to 6 p.m. There are many other people. I think we have our resident astrologer, Johanna Rada, in there with her today. Also, you've got these people are there from Tuesdays through Fridays. Usually, sometimes we have people in there on Saturdays. I'm there every Saturday. You can take a class, $10 per class every Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Experience my creative pathwork meditations. And I know a lot about meditation. I've been into meditation as far back when I was about 19 years of age in college, in the spring of college. I took up meditation to get rid of the inner anger that was mustering up inside, and it worked. So there's a lot of things, and sometimes every second Saturday we have the Ions. That's the Institute of Noetic Science group here in Albuquerque, and they have some very good speakers that come, and they talk from 1 p.m. up to about 3 p.m. every second Saturday, and just for donation, give whatever donation you want to Resident Essentials as well as to the people who are doing this. It's basically free. A lot of good topics. You go on Resident Essentials, www.residentessentials.com, and the calendar opens up and you can see all these different events that are going on. Okay, so I just want to let you know that if you're out here every second Saturday, every second Saturday is Ions from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., but every second Sunday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., we have our monthly psychic fair. You need to check us out. If you're in town, do so. Do so. Well, I'm going to get off now. Thank you for listening. Thanks, Jackie, Fillmore, Antoine. Thank you, Ari Mayat, for joining me and whoever else that was in here today. If you want, you can share this out or just tell people to come here to Resident Essentials Albuquerque on YouTube, and you can like see a lot of the stuff live or replay. All right, it's time for me to go on my merry way and get back here because I got another class tonight. I had a great class. Last night was class number 9 on selenite, and 2 more Wednesday nights will be done. And then there's certificates of completion to be mailed out to folks. So anyhow, take care of yourselves. I'm usually here every Thursday at 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time right now. I'm looking forward to come up with another topic. I think this was podcast number 130. I've done a lot in the last 2 years. All right, everybody, take good care of yourselves. Hope to see you next week. And if you want to know more information about what I do, you can email me at iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com or just type in www.circlegrace1.us and you'll see my website and what else I'm doing. Take care of yourself. I love you all unconditionally. My grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. Look forward to see you real soon.